Happy Tensura Day. We got some cut content from Mr. Aninews. Shout out to Aninews. Please go support his channel. The fools who dare to disrespect Rimuru. But to be honest, kind of feel bad because most of them are just kind of crashing out because of what? Maria Bell, right?
It's not every day you come across people foolish enough to try.
Not these idiots though. Not everyone is directly in control, right? Some people genuinely are that fucking stupid, and the prince and the bodyguard Reiner, yeah, they're that stupid. Same with Guy. These dudes are genuinely an all-star roster of like Yamauchis from Classroom of the Elite.
Trying to pose a demon lord. What's even more rare are those same people thinking they could get away with disrespecting one right to their face.
Look at him posing, bro. Guy getting disintegrated by Shuna hit like almost 100k on TikTok for me. I didn't realize how many people were expecting and looking forward to this fucking, you know, the best adventure around. The holy blade from Timu just get, you know, punished.
You truly have to live in a bubble to be so bold, and for Reiner and Elric, that's exactly the life they've lived.
Ignorance is
bliss.
bliss.
Fair, they were only pawns in another person's game. A person who you'd be surprised to know actually is more of a challenge for Rimuru.
Okay.
I know the anime made it seem like Rimuru had everything under control, but when it comes to how it all went down in the novel, the only reason Rimuru came out on top was because of Raphael. Their
ultimate skill, beast unique, it be that simple. Kind of unfair. How does Maribel compete? She's got Grandpa. They have a secret, like a, what's a trump card. They mentioned a secret trump card.
There were a couple times at least where Rimuru wasn't sure how to proceed, only to get saved by Raphael. So, if you want to see how that all went down, along with the full extent of the Western nation's foolishness, stick around as we'll cover all of that.
But first,
if you're looking for an isekai,
got him! The way that he was in the transition felt like he wasn't just priming for an intro of the you know, the cut content. It felt like, no, there's something else coming. What is it this time?
Themed RPG to immerse yourself with, you've definitely got to check out today's sponsor, Swordstaff.
Okay.
It just recently dropped,
Swordstaff,
bringing what at first seems like those big anime RPG vibes.
Okay.
There's exploration, companions, and progression, even the isekai elements that make you feel like your own anime protagonist. It's once you get deeper into the questing and character building, though, that's when things start to feel different.
I'm actually low-key interested in this. The overall sprites, the layout kind of reminds me of like the JRPG style, like vertical, you know, layout, mobile game content. You know, I'm a sucker for these kind of games.
Not in a loud way with complex diverging storylines or multiple systems and constant interruptions, but rather with this smooth emerging gameplay loop.
Okay.
You play, you progress, and it stays out of your way. Best of all, there's no character gacha or banners to hit.
I'm done. Nah, I quit. Nah, fuck, this is not a game. This is not a what are we doing here, bro? The reason I play these gacha games is for gacha games. This is not a gacha game. This is just a random fucking mobile game. What the fuck am I playing a mobile game for? The fuck? I'll just play a game on my PC. Where's the gambling?
With that FOMO, most of the companions and cards you can unlock just by playing normally. So, the focus doesn't turn into collecting characters.
If everyone has it, then no one has it. I want the exclusivity. I want to feel special. Not because of something I accomplished, but because I just happen to roll the dice better than someone else. And then I get to flex on them and say, haha, see what I got? Free to play, by the way. That's the fun of these games.
Just for the sake of it, it shifts into experiencing the game for what it is. You building your own setup. Whether that's your skills, your gear, your class, or anything else, everything just comes from how you play. No luck or pulls needed. So, in a way, it...
Listen. Maybe use your brain and ask yourself if it's a good idea to disclose your fucking name on a Twitch chat. Okay, if you're here to just enjoy the live stream content, just chill out and watch, alright? But like, you're already fucking doxing yourself, like, just chill out.
Weirdly makes it feel more like an anime game than most anime games. You'd be surprised by how chill the style, flow, and vibe is, all of which isn't convoluted by noise. So, if you're looking for a straightforward anime RPG that starts like an isekai and is more than you'd expect, be sure to check out Swordstaff using my link down in the description. It's...
You know what? Shout out to Aninews though. Shout out to Aninews though. Here we go. Oh, I see. So this is what happens when you pull up to a stream and start begging for content. You immediately ignore the rules, and you're not only that, you're a second channel retard. And not only that, you're still begging for Beyblade Metal Saga movie reaction. When Beyblade is not only the last thing that we reacted to, it was Beyblade and then Ben 10 and now we're an Avatar, and you're still stuck from fucking last year, and you're begging in my fucking chat during a recording session of other content. Name one good reason why I shouldn't execute you on the spot right now. If you can make me laugh with your next message, I won't permanently ban you. You have 10 seconds.
what you might come to know as a third-way RPG. But anyway.
Before we ban the guy, oh, check this out. Check out Mr. Aninews, sponsor. Help him out. I always appreciate him for all the good content. 10 seconds is up! Do you have anything to say for yourself before I end you? Any last words? Anything? Hey, good for you, man. Do you have anything to say for yourself? At least defend yourself. If you're not gonna say anything, I'm just gonna permanently ban you. Do you have anything to say? Just like fight back. Like, use your brain. Nothing? I'm gonna count down from 5 in my head. And if you have nothing, cool. All right, let's go back to the content.
Episode 78, The Council of the West, covering Chapter 3 from Volume 10 of the light novel. With the Council's demands being downright outrageous, Rimuru would question whether the Council even wanted friendly relations to begin with.
Funnier to imagine Rimuru got tired of the fucking meetings and destroyed a table, bro.
Tempest was, after all, a gigantic economic bloc on its own, so if the Council wasn't gonna treat them fairly, there really wasn't any reason to join them. All Rimuru wanted was to show monsters could coexist with humans. Now, you'd think the fear Rimuru imposed would be because of his Lord's Ambition extra skill, but in actuality, it was just Rimuru himself.
Okay.
Lord's ambition would cause nothing but insanity or death, so the way these counselors felt was solely due to Rimuru's tone and actions.
Yeah, and if they acknowledge that they can't win, then they just die, right?
Still, they would continue their disrespect regardless, going so far as to refer to Rimuru as Sir.
I honestly hate that we have to treat these fucking monkeys like they're actual people deserving of respect. I genuinely hate this. And it is a problem where you can't solve everything just by pure power, you know? Because these are weak fucking humans that we have to coexist with. Why do we have to coexist with them? There's no fucking reason. Because we don't want them to be scared? The idea is, I want to kill these fucking stupid monkeys and save the ones that actually wants to coexist and want to be productive with us. There's so many corrupt dudes that are just getting away, and we have to also treat them like delicate children because oh no, they're gonna get scared of us. And I hate this. It frustrates me to no fucking end, but this is how you're going to maintain the story. Because we could just beat them with military might, and then what? If you just solve everything with the fucking hammer and nail shit down, is it really gonna be a fun story? So I understand why they're approaching this new economic outlook on things, but man, the entitlement that these fucks have and how they don't even realize their positions, it's so beyond frustrating.
Not king. That would have been fine had it been Rimuru convening with other kings and leaders, but these were all people without any countries to govern. So, them calling him Sir was the equivalent of them saying he ran no nation at all.
They think they're equals, bro. Not even equal, they think they're better.
They
got no fief, they got no land.
Essentially demonstrating zero respect for him or his people. Usually, Rimuru was okay if it was just him being looked down on, but when it came to his entire country, that was it. In fact, with the way these nobles acted so high and mighty, Rimuru wasn't sure how much longer he'd be able to stand them. It was then that Raphael would ask if it should automatically handle them itself, a suggestion it gave without Rimuru even asking it to. This actually went to startle Rimuru since, as a skill that shouldn't be able to freely speak its mind like that, Raphael did so anyway.
She has a mind of her own. She has some personality and humor. This is not a random fucking robot calculator.
It was as if Rimuru was having his own internal desires spoken back to him. Now, as enticing as Raphael's autopilot seemed, Rimuru would ultimately decide to decline. That left the problem at hand unresolved, leading Rimuru into a panic as he wasn't sure what to do next. It was then that Raphael would auto-detect the mental interference, confirming the presence of foul play. Not only that, by analyzing all the samples currently present before them, Raphael was also able to decipher the laws that governed this mental interference. This then gave it the ability to remove it, a process it figured out all from scratch in seconds. Actually detecting the mental interference did take a bit more time though, since with the skill not exerting influence on magicules whatsoever, it was impossible for Raphael to notice it at first. What it did instead was analyze their wavelengths, see they all matched completely, then determine how statistically impossible it was for them to be that way.
It's a fucking supercomputer, man. How do you compete with this?
Rimuru's anger wavelength then created this opening, allowing Raphael to dismiss the interference. Funnily enough, it's because the situation turned out the way it did that Rimuru was able to make his anger seem like it was intentional.
Is Raphael making this anime bad? As in, is it solving everything for us too conveniently? You have to really kind of wonder. Sometimes I just, like, Raphael, even before Raphael 2, right? Like, this AI assist that we've had, it's truly, like, mind-blowing. It is kind of crazy. Like, imagine that the ultimate, like, handler, just like assist, guidance, manager. You don't have to do anything. This thing will take care of you. It's like the ultimate babysitter. Like, it's truly, like, might be... I think that it actually is the most broken skill that Rimuru has. I know that there's a lot of other busted ones, and I'm sure you're going to power scale, you know, the magnitude of those forces, but the way that Raphael can do shit is... it's different. It's like, what?
He didn't want his subordinates to think he was rational, and he didn't want Hinata to think he didn't listen to her. So, when his outburst ultimately led to the underlying plot being revealed, Rimuru was able to play it off like that was what he meant to do.
There's also something funny about Raphael being an angel's name, and how the angels would probably be horrified to know that Rimuru has like this fucking AI supercomputer. You talk about advancing civilization, like, this is it, man.
It was a bona fide Ainz moment through and through.
An Overlord reference that one day we'll get.
When it came time for the fools scheming against him to reveal themselves, Rimuru could only wonder how stupid one had to be to try all this.
Beyond stupid.
I mean, whoever was willing to go so far to disrespect a demon lord like...
Dude, this is a Yamauchi smile from Classroom D Elite.
This, they obviously didn't know the dangers of dealing with a demon lord. That just went to show how comfy their positions deep within the West was, making them both soft and naive.
Sheltered.
This was only further confirmed when their first words called Rimuru a fool.
You're the fool.
A fatal line that triggered 3 completely different reactions. Shuna had stopped smiling, Benimaru was frozen with anger, and Soe was ready to strike with the sword he had hidden on him.
Shio might have already killed him a couple of times if she was here.
Weapons in the chamber weren't allowed at all though, so rather than explain why he and his subordinates...
Weapons aren't allowed? What about the fan? Well, just a fan. You know, Shuna had a cool fan, but it's not really a weapon.
It broke that rule. Rimuru decided it was best to first try and resolve things with words. Whether it was saying he had the wrong demon lord or questioning the legality of it all, Rimuru did all he could to prevent his side from jumping into action. None of that mattered to those attacking him though, since for them, they made it clear they wanted to use the Orb of Domination.
Hey! You look like you're strong. You must be that idiot. Is there gonna be a character that can surpass Reiner in ignorance, delusions, I mean, time after time, Tensura keeps showing these characters that are just beyond delusional and ignorant and have no awareness and are always like punching up a weight class, right? And honestly, those are the really fun moments.
Wanted to use the Orb of Domination to control him right off the bat. Rimuru couldn't be sure of where these people found it, but what he did know was that he needed to destroy it.
Probably funded, given by Maribel?
Either way, with the way everyone was giving mixed reactions to the plot unfolding in front of them, Rimuru knew it was all the actions of a smaller group. Gabin had made it clear he was part of that, but Johan's direct opposition to it, along with the fact he wasn't being manipulated.
Okay. Gabin went way too far. Johan, this guy, right? He was kind of there, but he knew. He understood when to bow out. Gavin, like, I don't know why he was so confident. I guess he truly drank all the Kool-Aid and just believed that Maribel would figure something out no matter what. But this dude genuinely tripled down.
Along with the fact he wasn't being manipulated by the mental interference, that made Rimuru think that he was on his side. Even more so when Johan gave a look of disgust once the mental interference had been discovered.
Yeah.
Of course, we know that shock was for a different reason, but to Rimuru, Johan seemed like one of the more decent counselors.
Yeah, he is still, again, like, playing on the other side, but it's not like Gavin, right? He knew he's smart. He knew that the tides were shifting. It's like, this is bad. No, let's just stop this.
When it came to Reiner disrespecting Hinata after, he didn't just stop at calling her cowardly.
I can't believe he touched her like that.
He would proceed to insult her title, her role, and her ability, all while somehow insulting Rimuru too.
That's impressive. Imagine the church found out about this. Remember our paladins, our holy crusaders? Dude, they simp for Hinata as if she is like God herself, right? Like, this is crazy. They're lucky they weren't here.
Hinata just stood there and took it though, a clear sign she was getting ready to destroy him.
Crazy.
The colder she looked on the outside, the more her emotions festered on the inside. As for why this man felt so confident to begin with,
because he's the strongest man in Ingracia, apparently. Like, this is a real title?
as the alleged strongest knight in all of Inglacia, it was undeniable his level was at the over A rank.
Whoa!
That was certainly
over
a respectable
A
place to be, but in a sheltered nation such as this, ultimately it meant nothing.
Yuki! But I guess the title there was knight. I don't think Yuki is a knight, right? So if Reiner is really like the last thing before Yuki, man, the gap is kind of staggering. Just a bunch of NPCs, even over A rank, right? In the grand scheme of things, you're just fodder.
Sure, the over A rank meant he could wage an even battle against someone like Gelmud, but in a land as peaceful as the one
Gelmud? This is from season 1. This is with Geld, right? This is the dude that gave Geld. Well, it wasn't even Geld. It was a guy that was before Geld basically took on that name, right? There was like a bigger Orc Lord disaster shit. Anyways, he was the one, you know, handling that.
like Gelmud, but in a land as peaceful as the
Also, I don't even know how to power scale that guy though. That Gelmud guy. Yeah, Clayman's lackey. How is that good? I can't tell.
one he lived in, he just didn't have experience. He hadn't put in hours fighting monsters the same way someone like Hinata has. So, it's not like Reiner was actually weak. It's just his lack of experience made him weak.
Okay.
He was oblivious to the threat those far stronger than him posed to him. A clear testament to how out of depth he was. Now, under normal circumstances, either Rimuru or his subordinates would have done something to resolve this, but with Hinata easily being the angriest person in the room right now, that actually served to have this calming effect. It was that strange phenomenon where when someone else gets angry first, your own anger starts to subside a bit. Well, that was what was happening here, since by watching Hinata fight to keep her cool, Rimuru forgot all about how angry he just was. In fact, with Hinata riled up to the point of no return, Rimuru knew he wouldn't have to do anything about this Reiner guy.
No! Well, someone had to get mad. Why don't they both get mad and start jumping around together? Because we have to maintain our composure, our image. We are benevolent, kind people. We're not, mean.
That was a problem he knew was already taken care of. As for the leader of Vert, while his stated reason for backing out was due to the terms of their contract, the actual reason was because of what happened in the labyrinth.
Oh? They remember the smurfing?
After experiencing firsthand exactly what Rimuru was capable of, it was clear he wanted nothing to do with him.
Wait. They knew? They knew the identity, the smurf account? Or are they saying that the dungeon is a byproduct of Rimuru, therefore they don't want to mess with Rimuru? I think it's more like that, but if they knew that Rimuru was smurfing, that's funnier.
So, that just left the prince, the man who Raphael confirmed bribed all the other nations. Soei's investigations had only provided the data,
Yeah, we got
while it was
receipts.
Raphael's analysis that revealed the corruption. The end result were the ledgers we saw in the anime, evidence Rimuru took out of his stomach just in case he needed to use it against the prince. That, as we saw, wouldn't be necessary though, as the script was now flipped on those who wrote it. Of the counselors who were bribed but didn't stand up, Rimuru had no problem leaving them be, since at the end of the day, their decisions weren't their own. As for the counselors who stood up anyway, that meant the bribe they took was good enough regardless of mental interference.
Yeah.
It made their ties to corruption inexcusable.
They got out too fast. It's fun to imagine there's other people that are also wanting to get up, but they realize how bad the situation is, so they were waiting for others. While these guys jumped the gun and they're like, oh, oops, maybe I'll just sit down.
Some had actually tried to sit when the tables were turning, but Soei's invisible threads kept them bound and standing.
Don't even try to sit down. He actually tried to leave. No one's watching, right? No one's watching. I'll just quietly say, oh!
There was nothing any of them could do to avoid being exposed.
That's hilarious. Nah, they should have shown this in the anime. The shamelessness of these people trying to, you know, pretend like they weren't part of it. What do you mean? I was under the hypnosis. Bribery? What bribery?
Now, even the leader of Vert had a hunch something was wrong, so that's why he made sure.
So apparently this guy isn't Vert? Aninews is calling him leader of Vert. But their group is Green Fury, unless Vert is a synonym for Green Fury. And I thought their leader was Vert, but apparently this guy, it's not. It sounds like Vert is this other group within Green Fury? I don't know, but this guy, he was smart. He knew what he was doing.
Something was wrong, so that's why he made sure to cover his bases first. Now, Guy was pretty much the same as Reiner, since
Guy
despite
Crimson.
being strong as an individual, he lacked the experience or wherewithal to understand what he was even signing up for. Yes,
You need to just be amazed at his confidence. Like, it truly takes someone special to be this. Just like, he has his own head up his ass. He's so proud and always flexing as if he is some, but he's not even like an isekai hero, you know? He is that like Naofumi from Shield Hero, you know? He is that like, usually in an isekai story, when you have the, you know, the main character be like Hajime from Arifureta, right? And then there's Koki, the white knight shit. He's like that fucking fraud hero, white knight, you know? It's kind of like that. And he's just a regular dude in Tensura, not even isekai character. Who is his parents? I applaud them for giving him this much confidence to do whatever he wants.
wherewithal to understand what he was even signing up for. Yes, he was over A rank just like Reiner, but the man was just oblivious. As for how Shuna's analyst skill gave her the advantage, it was likely it had appraised
Like the little summary for the skills for people that's forgotten.
everything about Guy. All his abilities and all he was capable of, Shuna already knew before the battle had even started. To start with Reiner and Hinata first though, despite Hinata being unarmed, overdressed in formal wear and fighting an opponent much larger than her.
What? What the hell? Whoa. What the fuck? What? Wait, what? Wait. In the light novel, Hinata is wearing that?
Despite Hinata being unarmed, overdressed in formal wear and fighting an opponent much larger than her, still Reiner couldn't keep up at all. In fact, Hinata wasn't even fighting at full power, yet Rimuru could sense that she was operating at a level greater than that of a demon lord or two.
Okay.
In the end, Reiner would literally be thrown for a loop, a display of overwhelming power enough to make him piss himself.
He folded so quick. He literally got forward and folded, and then he actually folded. Like it was so quick. And after all the talk of being the strongest man in Ingarashia, and then to just like go out like that was like, come on, you gotta try a little bit harder.
To be honest,
Like at least Guy kept going, right? Guy didn't just give up. He kept swinging and swinging, and then he eventually got corrected.
actually thought the anime was over-exaggerating Reiner's reaction, but I guess they didn't show enough.
Yeah.
Reiner truly was just this pitiful human.
Bro pissed himself.
Now, where Hinata's fight was swift and relentless, Shuna took the more playful approach.
The fan.
That much we saw, but when it came to her disintegration, what actually happened couldn't be farther from what she said happened.
It's crazy. Like, I was actually saying, yo, disintegrate. Hinata disintegrate. I didn't expect Shuna to disintegrate. This is a skill that was used back in like the first round versus Rimuru. The finisher move from Hinata, where Rimuru then, you know, got away, escaped, right? But it made it look like he died. Bro, disintegrate is a crazy holy spell. And like, now Shuna, but like, remember, monsters can't really use holy magic, or at least they would thought they can't, right? Because they have to like worship some sort of god, and usually that's like a human thing. But now that they can just like worship Rimuru, and Shuna is using this as a monster, like, I feel like this should give some good faith to the humans that like, hey man, the Demon Lord and their monster crowd is using this holy magic? Great!
You see, to use that spell to strip only the clothes and armor from her target, that was impossible unless you had perfect control over the spell.
Ooh, Shuna
So,
upscale.
It wasn't long ago that Shuna was tasked with learning holy magic from Adelman, yet somehow she'd already mastered the hardest spell there was to master.
Nice.
It was clear Shuna was a magic prodigy. Like,
I thought that Shuna was using holy magic before Adelman was even, right? Because like in this season, Adelman was enlightened of how he can use it, but previous seasons, Shuna has already been using it. Shuna literally used it against Adelman, actually. Yeah, no, hold up. Season 2, literally, versus Adelman. Shuna, it was a shock of like, what? How did she do that, right? But she learns from Adelman?
due to the support provided by her analyst skill. In any case, with the threats now removed and Elric left to fend for himself, the group Vert was still contracted to defend him. They had formed a small circle around Elric, but their body language made it clear that they didn't want any trouble.
They're
The
smart.
same could be said for those who stood to oppose Rimuru, since with them technically being representatives of their nations, Rimuru would ask if their nation should be presumed guilty alongside them.
Guilty.
Obviously, no one wanted to be responsible for their nation's destruction, but if it truly was their home nations that sanctioned their behavior, then it wasn't unfair to make them pay the same price as the person who committed the crime. That being the case, out of fear that Rimuru might punish them
No
the same way
balls.
he
No
did to
balls.
Varmus, finally the nobles would start treating Rimuru with respect.
See, you gotta show them a reason to be feared. You gotta like lay down the hammer of justice and let these fucks know, right? Dude, treat them like a pack of dogs. They're literally unruly and they don't know like how to behave. So you have to like show them you are to be respected, and then everyone else falls in line, or else they'll try to walk all over you.
Sure, it might only be because they were pleading for the continued existence of them and their nations, but at least they were referring to him as king now. Still,
Sir King.
Rimuru couldn't get over the fact that they'd tried to pull a fast one on him. Hinata did say that they were planning something, but to think it was this bold was ridiculous. The plan was so sloppy that Rimuru couldn't believe this was the best they could come up with. It wasn't necessarily the worst either, though, since if the vote did pass and the councilors did ultimately try to mind control Rimuru, there was nothing Rimuru could have done to overturn that vote. Regardless of what he did after that, his relations with the council would have ended right there and then.
Thank fucking God. Good riddance, bro. Wiped him out. Take over all of it. Let Tempest run them. Enough diplomacy. Just military rule right now. Nah. This is gonna be an empire. Fuck the diplomacy.
So, Rimuru did have to give thanks to Raphael for that, since if not for its detection of the mental interference, things could have gone way different. Now, in the novel, Raphael would identify the shooter's weapon as a Walther
Glenda.
P99, something I'm wondering how it even knows that.
Huh. Raphael's feeding data from Earth? Unless... Where is Raphael getting her data from, right? She's like a AI, you know, you need like a bunch of input, you need to, you know, like ChatGPT, where does it learn from? Scraping the fucking internet. A lot of fucking Reddit bullshit, right? It just feeds and understands what people are thinking and talking. Where's Raphael getting her data from? I don't know.
Aside from that, though, with the chamber they were in being
Imagine that implies that like in the world of Tempest, like Tensura, guns such as P99 has existed in the past. Basically like Tenma War erased the P99, but now it's kind of back in the form of Glenda, and now that's why Raphael still like knows what it is. I doubt it.
reinforced with anti-magic defenses built into the walls, even if the shooter's bullet was magically enhanced, there was no way it was getting through this bunker they were in.
That portal magic.
Rimuru was well aware she was using magic sense to pinpoint Elric's location, but there shouldn't have been any way for her to reach him.
Good lord,
That's
those
what
booba.
Rimuru thought, all the way up until her spatial connection was activated. Now, where in the anime it makes it seem like Rimuru was fast enough to swallow the bullet with Beelzebub, that was actually all Raphael. The real Rimuru was in a panic thinking he couldn't do anything, up until Raphael suggested
What's the point even being Rimuru? Just let Raphael autopilot, bro. It's a fucking waste of time. This is just let the AI do it, bro.
using his ultimate skill. Rimuru didn't even know that would work, but if it was a suggestion from Raphael, then it had to. So,
Oh.
by giving the go-ahead to use the ultimate skill inside him,
Autopilot!
the rest was handled automatically. I do find it interesting this person detected the bullet the same time Hinata did, so it makes me wonder just how powerful he might be.
Yo, leader avert, upscale, upscale. He was honestly smart. He was competent. I thought that he was just gonna be a random, you know, just like an NPC, little Zako bro, but I don't know, man. This guy's moving different.
In any case, with the assassination stopped and Rimuru now a hero, the consequences for Alric were finally sinking in. Despite the anime making it seem like he was the prince, he was never officially made the crown prince and he wasn't even first in line to become king.
What? There's other princes? Okay, cool, but what? That makes the situation even worse. Dude was parading around with like stolen honor. He's not even crown prince, bro. Like you are nobody. You're literally LARPing as the fucking crown prince.
That being the case, his plot here was
I want to see the real crown prince. I want to see his brothers. Who's the competent one?
more like an all-or-nothing gamble to gain the throne.
Okay.
Had he succeeded, he would have been the nation's hero, but it's because he failed that no one would ever side with him now.
Hey man, at least he shot his shot. Might have been better to not take a shot, but he did it. It did not work well. Hope he learned a lesson.
So, because of this, he had essentially thrown away his chances at leadership for nothing. It was when the king showed up next that all who heard his entrance immediately stood at attention.
Oh, the king!
Rimuru was about to do the same, but Shuna and Benimaru would stop him as it wasn't customary for a foreign king to do so.
Okay.
Instead,
Don't
Rimuru
bow.
would just wait for the king to approach him, the king paying no mind to the counselors currently tied up by Soe. It was after all was forgiven that it would be these magical inquisitors that would haul off Gabin, Guy, and Reiner.
They look kind of scary. They look like demons, bro, with their horns. What's with the gas mask and the horn and the glasses, the goggles that make them look like half bug eyes? They take their job very seriously. I want to see the torture. I want to see the Inquisition.
The way they subdued them as if they were children clearly showed these inquisitors were far stronger than your average soldier.
Stronger than Reiner?
Perhaps even stronger than Inglacia's best.
Oh!
This was likely a
perhaps stronger than Inglacia's best. Little jab at Reiner. You Inquisitor stronger.
show of force though, the king showing Rimuru his country isn't filled with just a bunch of pushovers. If anything, it could be perceived as a don't mess with us type of message.
Yo, the Inquisitors are literally just fucking ICE agents, bro. We got the thugs. We got the goon squad ready to do the dirty deed that needs to be done.
Us type of message. It's not like Aegil was gonna be Rimuru's next best friend anyway though, since had Elric's plan succeeded, he probably wouldn't be doing any of this.
This king. He really? Well, if it succeeded, then I mean, you might as well take the rewards, right? Rather than trying to correct the mistake, because now it's like, hey, it's free points, I guess.
Since had Elric's plan succeeded, he probably wouldn't be doing any of this.
Mm.
All this was just him saving face. Rimuru wasn't
This
really
fucking
bothered
guy.
by it though, since when it came to leading a nation, you definitely
So him showing up at the end generally wasn't a coincidence. I think I made a comment of like, now you pull out? Where the fuck were you the entire time? What a shitty dad. At least he's doing the right thing now. But it's just like, oh, he was waiting. He was waiting like Sylvester and Ferdinand at the end of season 3 of A Sentence of a Bookworm, where they were waiting in their doors. Just waiting for that one moment. And then we baited the High Bishop. And then Ferdinand came out and says, "Ha, gotcha!" And then Sylvester pulled up and he said, "Ha, gotcha! I am the Aube Ehrenfest!" So the king is doing the same shit. He's like listening and peeking through the doors of like, is it my time? Okay, we gotta go in now.
needed that type of malice in you. But anyway, things would end with the 3 resolutions we saw in the anime, properly bringing Tempest into the council. The Orb of Domination was disabled before the king had taken it back, so despite it still being in the hands of Inglacia, it couldn't be used for anything now.
Okay.
The rest is as we saw, leaving
Belinda.
only the mystery behind who orchestrated the assassination. That's pretty much it for this episode though, so if you enjoyed what you saw and want to see more, then be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.
Of course I will. Nice summary of the cut content as usual, Mr. Aninews. Please go check out the link to the video right here. Go give it a like and check him out. The thing that stood out to me, obviously, was that the king was just saving face. That was kind of crazy. How about the power scaling of the Inquisitors and how stupid Reiner truly was, right? And how just OP Raphael is. Overall, this episode I think was amazing, right? I think this is the most fun we've had in season 4, or maybe even certain moments of season 3. And I think a lot of people are waiting for some shit to pop off, and it did pop off. And hopefully we can continue the momentum and have more engaging content. See you in the actual reaction. Goodbye. Bye bye.